game idea. And he said, how? I said, Shraddh, if you know it, it's like suicide to happiness. So that's how the families in Livelihood transit. And I said, this is the outcome of possibly a game which we can. And we came up with an idea of a game called Khiladi. I'm going to just briefly tell you about that. And I think his colleague is here. Yeah. So I'm Parag. And livelihood is very interesting for me. I'm a doctor and shifted to IT and started my IT company in Pune, which is a startup in 2002. And we have been successful across the globe by designing games which are extremely educational, serious, and learning. So that's what we are doing. I worked in disaster management as a doctor, and I also developed a lot of softwares in 3D virtual. That's what my company does. After this workshop in 2013, Ajit Mankeekar, who is always inspirational to everyone, he said, Parag, have poultry in your hut. That's about 400 chickens there. The turnover, Anish told me, Anish from Parag, is about 160 crores of rupees. And I got shocked out my life that I am running a hospital, a big hospital with Lata Mangeshkar in Pune. And the maximum turnover we could do was about 80 crores of rupees in a city like Pune, which is highly urban. And these are the women from poor and whatever the remote villages doing the turnover collectively as 160 crores. And this woman told me that they want to take this turnover to 500 crores. So obviously that means that they have to involve more women. And her worry was how to train these women who are coming new in the domain. And she said that they cannot go for 14-day training Pradhan offers because it's a lot of difficulties they face with families and husbands and children. So they wanted something else. So I sat with them. I had an iPad with me and I just was showing iPad to all these women who were sitting. And within 2 minutes they could actually operate iPad because it's gesture based. All of us know that. And that's what the beauty of Apple is. So they started using it, they started laughing, smiling. And I said, now tell me, if you want to create something on this machine, because they don't know what iPad is, what you will do. And this lady told me that she wants to develop a kind of a poultry simulation game, where a woman can play that game and will know a lot of variables which happen around a poultry which is raised from day 0 to day 45 when it is sold in the market. And a lot of things happen, antibiotics, vaccination, health, different seasons, a lot of challenges they encounter with. And ultimately, with Pradhan team, we have come up with a poultry simulation game idea, which is on the paper, and we'll start developing that idea. So this is one. Then secondly, I was searching around and I found a student who is from US University, a student like you, a young student, who was doing his dissertation in Kenya with Maasai community. And he developed a board game, which is this, called Eramet. You can find him on actually Google. And this is the agricultural cycle game, and he's trying to tell this Maasai community, Maasai Mara community, how agricultural cycle is going to benefit them and how to make maximum benefits out of it. Now this is a very interesting thing, and why I'm telling you, because you're all young, you need to move out. And I think a lot of these opportunities are waiting in livelihood. This is BRLPS, one of the training workshop I did with the Chakravyuh game. It was very primary and very version 1 kind of a game. All 70 people who played this game in BRLPS, they were highly motivated. I have emails from them saying, in fact, 6 of them and 2 of from Irma, they told me that they have a game idea and they don't know how to proceed, how to develop it to a fully functional game. So a lot of you young guys actually you play games on mobiles and maybe Candy Crush Saga and all these stupid games. Let me say that. But you can use your brains and your intelligence and the way you are working in livelihood to use this ability to develop a game which is going to be a kind of breaking game in the world. I come from a background where we developed a game called Real Lives. Real Lives is one of the highly serious educational games. There is no movement, there is no animation, it's not fancy like Candy Crush Saga. Currently it ranks 5th in the world out of 1200 simulation games. It is a highly boring game. 5,000 schools use that game as a syllabus in US and Europe. And we got $1 million offer to buy out that game from a company in New York. So I am just telling you because these are the stories, these are the games, these are the simulations which are coming up in the world, where the world is going to change with all these simulations which are happening across the globe. This is the Chakravyuh. I don't talk much because I think you have already played it. But what I would expect from you is that you have played it, so tell me the reactions send me the email how to improve that game, how to make it the version 2, which is going to be the best. My dream for this game is going to be the world's armor game, where I have data from across the globe. The suicides are happening in France, Italy, Australia, US, everywhere. It's not only India. So we should not be ashamed of course, we should be ashamed of not doing other things. And when Tata Trust invited me, they had this data from the Vidarbha, which is where the maximum suicide is happening. And Sanjeev Phansalkar, who is ex-Sirma and now heading the Tata Trust, he said, Parag, I have the data. Can you put this data into something visualization where anybody can play this and maybe they can learn about why farmers are committing suicide. Now these are the kind of data visualization we can do. It's not boring, it's not Excel sheet, it's not data which is only a graduate or postgraduate student will understand. If I have this Hindi version now, I have Gujarati version, I'm trying to make a Korea version. And I think even the schools can play this game and it can go to the school level. So one of the idea I have is how to take livelihood to the school level. So I keep presenting these games at various platforms. And we were actually awarded by two organizations. One is this Mankeekar, which is working in social sector. But we got another award from CII. Now I am pushing hard in the corporate community that this is what the India is and this is what we should spend our time and money and efforts and intelligence, where we want to change India as a better place to live in. So we got a lot of awards for Chakravirta. In fact, I went to Assam, Guwahati, SRLP or whatever they call it in Assam, and we had a full session with the people there. And they were highly motivated because first time they were experiencing a simulation and first time they said, it was very interesting. They said, now you are asking us to play a game from Maharashtra. Can you design a game for us for Assam? So I said, okay, what's the problem and let's discuss it. Within the next 4 hours with the organization they called Center for Microfinance and Livelihood, Partho Patwari, and he is a Tata Trust grantee. We designed a game on Assam floods, Brahmaputra floods every year, and it kills the livelihood opportunities of a lot of people who are in the basin, who are somewhere in between and who are at the top. And amazing, 4 hours we had a team of about 6 people from this Assam SRLP, and entire idea was worked on a whiteboard. So these kind of game ideas can come up suddenly and it's highly creative. Vijay Bhatkar, who is Padma Bhushan, is also talking a lot about zero balance agriculture and that kind of. So he met us and he said, Parag, why not work on those ideas? I was invited to Afghanistan. Now these are the farmers from Kandahar region and they are growing mushrooms. When they saw these games, they asked me, can you develop a game where mushrooms can be marketed effectively? So now we are working through an agency, USAID agency, where we possibly will end up with developing a mushroom game for these farmers in Afghanistan. Again, the problem is that he said that I am growing 2 tons of mushrooms. I want to take it to 10 tons and 50 tons and 100 tons. How I am going to educate my farmers around Kandahar region? So that kind of ideas people are coming up with. These are the students from Kabul University. In fact, when they saw these games, they are software and engineering students. And if you go to Afghanistan, I think he was there. Absolutely, there was nothing. There were no books in the Kabul University. So these students are brilliant, they are very good. So they actually invited their vice chancellor to the stall, and the vice chancellor was talking to us that can you develop a course for game designers here in Afghanistan? And games are extremely powerful. Let me tell you, they can change your behavior. If you play a violent game, you ultimately start thinking about killing someone. If you play a good game, possibly you can start thinking about saving someone. So games are extremely powerful and they can change you the way you are more sustainable and more effective. Now this is a model they had. Now when we started talking, we have now completed about 30-40% of this game, and it will be in the field very soon with 1 laptop and 4 women sitting in front of laptop, and they will be playing this game. So a lot of these ideas are coming up. So there are 4 things. One is the crop production system in the game, other is the livestock production system, then the household and the market system. And the interplay of all these things is what the game is all about. So there is power, there is politics there are a lot of issues which actually you don't even learn in 2 years course, which you will possibly learn in a 2 days session. So this game will be online. We are trying to make the next version of this game cloud-based. So we are using Java. Those who are from the technology side would be a little. So we are trying to design this game in this fashion. Generally, the game is, there is a game manager here. So this is how the game was played. So this is the original workshop version, what happens in IRMA, and I think KSRM also has this kind of game. So there are students who are playing this. They play from 9 to evening 6 entire day, and then there is a debriefing session where they actually talk about, and very inspirational. They are emotional after playing the game. A lot of things happen, like somebody has a twin child, and the entire family collapses with the new birth or a new death. Like head of the family is no more there. And then a lot of these objects IRMA has created, which are physical objects. So we are trying to make everything into digital, so it will be computer based. Yeah. So I just show you. As a big training program in Tesla. But otherwise, if you want to play, if organization in South India, in Tamil Nadu wants to play, it's not available and it's very costly. So I was struggling with IRMA for almost 1.5 years, saying that this game we should take out of IRMA and make it available to everyone across India or across. Now, yesterday we got an email from MIT Harvard that they want to play this game at MIT Harvard. With technical students, forget about rural livelihoods and livelihood programs, but technical students at Harvard.
Is it mainly focusing on making people like us and people
Yes.
from a well-off society aware of the conditions of the rural poor?
Both. As I said, this the poultry simulation game will be developed for women who are in poultry organization, and there is a big gap. That's what I feel myself. That we are all coming from middle class, city kind of background. And we are trying to work with rural people and poor and poverty and livelihood. So we don't have this correct understanding. That is what we are discussing in today's entire session. So how to reduce this gap? So one of the methodologies I feel is this game methodology, where the advantage is that you are going to play it as a first person. So when you play Chakravyuh, you are going to play it as a farmer. So I don't have to teach you extra about what the farmer goes in and what kind of challenges he is suffering from. So this first person gaming is highly useful in training someone. So of course you have to go to the field and you have to talk to the poor people, that's another story. But before going there, at least you will have some ideas about how these people actually live and live their life. So
To train people, can these games also be used to rank the competitiveness of
yeah. I can do that. See, what we are trying to do is all these games are database driven. So I can capture a lot of data of everyone who is playing. And I can put an analysis software on top of that. In fact, capturing even the behavior, how people behave with each other. Which is currently not happening at IRMA game because it's a workshop game and you have to fill a lot of sheets of paper and all these things. So one of the ideas was discussed at IRMA was that we can have this data, which can be used in various ways by putting all the analysis. So that's possible. And in fact, games are used. I was showing someone a game which is used by American Army or Haji Kamal. You put Google it and you will get that game. It's online. Haji Kamal is currently used by American government for soldiers who are working in Afghanistan. And there is an Afghan context to entire game. You play that game as a soldier, and American government knows actually who is getting more sympathetic towards Afghanistan, and then they are winning. So you can go to that level of extreme negative bias of that, or you can have a bias where I will know that out of this entire group of students who are going to be managers, who are going to be passionate, and who are going to be working in the field, IBM is asking us every day they are recruiting something like 1,000 people across the globe. And 700 people are leaving their jobs after end of 6 months or 1 year. So they are actually incurring huge cost about recruiting wrong people. So they are asking us, can you develop a game where we actually can hire people who are right for the job they are applying for.
But just other side of the road actually is not. I think we have to be very clear about it.